Jesus, remember me when I come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when I come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when I come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when I come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when I come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when I come into your kingdom.
Welcome to Joy. I'm Michael Harmuth from St. Michael and All Angels, and we're here today to begin our Lenten journey. As we come to the first Sunday in Lent, I have the Lenten colors on. So here we go. The first slide shows how wonderful the Lenten journey can be with each of us helping one another. And there's a little rabbit looking up to heaven with our paws together, asking God to help during the Lenten journey. That's a good way to begin. Can't do it alone, but ask God to help us through it. Now, our next slide is I call the first Lenten campsite. Remember I told you we don't count Sundays in Lent. We have 40 days of Lent, but Sundays are not counted because Sundays are a reminder of the Lord's resurrection. So what we're going to do during Lent is you and I are going to take each Sunday and we're going to call them a campsite. That's when we settle down and be quiet and refresh ourselves. So the first Lenten campsite, as you see on the slide, on the left-hand side, that red line goes up to number 1. It began over on the left-hand side as Ash Wednesday. We moved from Ash Wednesday to the first Sunday of Lent. That's our first campsite. And we got a long way to go, 40 more days, so we need all the help we can get. Now, the next slide reminds us that Jesus was baptized. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. And when he was baptized, the dove came down and said, "You are my beloved Son, the Anointed One." Now, the next slide shows right after baptism, the Spirit came upon him and took him into the wilderness. The wilderness is a symbol of our Lent. And in that wilderness, as you can see the Spirit taking him, on the next slide, we see Jesus had 3 temptations. During Lent, we're going to be tempted, I'm afraid, to not do our discipline. So we always have to ask God for help. So the first temptation on the next slide is the devil said to Jesus, who was very hungry, 40 days, and he said, "Take those stones up on the left, they look like bread, and make them into bread so that you'll have food." Jesus said, "Man doesn't eat by food alone." And then the next slide, Jesus is taken to the highest part of the temple. And the devil said to him, "Jump off. Don't be afraid. Just jump off. God will help you, will save you." And Jesus said, "Don't tempt the Lord your God." And the final slide shows the whole world is at your feet. And if you worship me, Satan said, "I'll give it to you." And Jesus quickly said, "You worship only the Lord your God." So, as our slide comes up, at this campsite, we have been practicing our prayers and our Lenten discipline for 3 days. The question is, are we tempted to quit Lent? And there the slide raises that question to us. We're going to say together, no. We're going to continue our Lenten journey together. So let us conclude today by saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. My friends, I want you to remember, as part of our Lenten discipline, that we wear the mask where we go. We wear the mask to protect other people, and they wear a mask to protect you. So remember, that's a good Lenten discipline. Amen.